Hi, welcome to the first ever episode of Between You and Me, a podcast about people. My name is Star, and I am so excited to be here. I'm literally pooping my pants. This has been a dream of mine for a really long time, and now it's happening, thanks to the grace of God and other people's money. So thank you for that. But before I introduce my first guest ever on this podcast, who I'm so happy is here with me, I thought I'd introduce myself a little bit. Number one, I love Jesus. So, if that makes you feel a type of way, all you need to know is that Jesus is love, love is aloha. So we are in aloha business here. Second thing, I'm born and raised in Kapuhulu, and I'm a Portuguese. So there's that. That'll reveal itself in its own time. And the third thing is that I was Miss Hawaii 2023, if maybe you think that I'm a little familiar. I did that last year. That was pretty cool. It's kind of a fun time. And now we're here. And I'm so excited to introduce my next guest. She is an amazing community leader, my role model since literal birth. Since I emerged from the womb, she's been my role model. She is the founder and creator of Bloom Conference. She's been a worship leader for over 20 years. She's a mother. She's a best friend. She's a wife. I almost called you a husband. Oh, no. Not a husband, a wife. Incredible. And my favorite title is that she's my cousin. So none other than Tiffany Thurston, Lifty Cow.
Star! I'm just so excited. I'm beaming. I'm not your mom, but I'm like,
oh my gosh.
She's so grown. And I'm so honored. This is actually, I've done podcasts before, but it's my first in-person podcast ever.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
So I'm on the set, which is amazing, by the way.
That's so cool. Well, thank you very much. I want you to turn around and look at the wallpaper.
Tell me about this wallpaper here.
I installed that myself. So I want you to rate it. No, just
Girl
kidding.
boss right there.
Yes. We were here late installing it. I've never installed wallpaper. It was me, Jordan, and a Costco card. And we just boom. We killed that. You're a DIY queen.
I love DIY. I got into it in COVID because everyone did. And you're just kind of staring at your walls. You're like, what can I do? And what can I do on a budget? And it was actually really fun. And I did things I never expected to do. I'll say that. You can check Instagram for that.
Yeah.
I haven't done any in a while. I need to. I have a few things like on the pending list that I want to still do. Like I want to paint my tiles.
No way.
I live in a condo, and so yeah. Anyway, there's that.
What part of the house is tile? It's the kitchen.
Yes, entrance, bathrooms, which makes it easy to clean. But I'm just like, I want to just change it up. And I'm obsessed with some people that where they do it white, or you can do a pattern. I've seen so many, and then you lacquer it. And so there's a lot of options. And it's crazy because paint, whether it's on the wall, ceiling, or floor, can go a long way for a very cheap price. Little fun fact.
Oh, yeah. DIY tips. See, I thought that my mom and I were DIY queens until you started doing DIY. And I saw it's legit and takes you days. You would just kind of slap things together and really impulsive. One time I came home and mom was pouring concrete on the kitchen counter. And to this day, it's but it was gritty concrete. It wasn't this pretty, cracked, smooth concrete. It's I don't know.
I give her credit for going concrete. That is a goal of mine. I want to get to at one point, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Well, now it's so heavy because it's an old house and it was meant for a little piece of wood and tile. And so it actually is weighing down.
The beams are I'm done.
They're no, this was not meant for us. Yeah. Do you have a favorite DIY project?
That I've done in my house?
Yeah.
Probably the living room. We did board and batten. And it's kind of crazy too because board and batten, you need little fun fact, little hack of DIYing. I'm not even a DIYer, which is so funny.
You're literally a contractor. Well, daughter of a contractor.
My mom is a contractor. So
you know more than you think.
Maybe. But we have concrete walls. And so when you do board and batten, you usually need a nail gun and you put on. So I looked everywhere, Pinterest everywhere online, how do people get things to work on a concrete wall? Well, I figured it out kind of through different people's posts. If you put liquid nails on the back of it, you put it on the wall where you want it, you let it, you use painter's tape and you let it cure for 24 hours, that puppy will not move.
Okay, liquid nails? Is
liquid
that
nails.
Glue?
It's basically glue.
Oh, okay.
And that's what a lot of people put on before, basically the wall behind you. That looks like a natural board and batten, but I know it's manufactured. But usually you would put the liquid nail.
I actually made that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
And then you would nail gun it and basically put it up against the wall and then it would stay because of the nail gun. But if you actually put liquid nails, enough of it, and put on the wall, on a concrete wall, let it cure for overnight, it will,
And it'll stay.
It will stay. So that's how I've done like our whole house.
Wow.
Liquid nails and a little bit of wood.
Oh my gosh. You know, after Mom passed, I live in the old house, right? And I kind of just lived there and I didn't do anything to it. And then we have a shower upstairs, which was going unused, just stayed there. But then my friend was visiting and I was like, you know what? I want her to like have this little moment, you know? So I bought an electric sander and I like it, cause it had these like wood ledges, and I electrically sanded it down, stained it. And I was like, I am Joanna Gaines. I was like, I am Chip. I am Joanna. That's everything to me. So I'm trying to channel you.
This is the podcast you didn't know you needed. It's going to talk about home hacks.
Yeah.
You know, fashion, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah.
And just life.
You thought it was going to be about feelings and vulnerability, and it's about contracting work. Next week, drywall. But you spend a lot of time at home.
Yeah, I do. I'm a stay-at-home mom now, but it wasn't always like that. And this is the most time I've ever spent at home in my life. Yeah. And I've got 2 boys, 6 and 7.
Bubba Thurston. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out. They're excited about Star's podcast.
Bubba was like, can I come? Can I come upstairs?
And Star's Portuguese, so am I, and so is he. And
he would have been sat right here going like, so what do I say?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. But we love that.
Oh my gosh.
And so I homeschool them and I'm home a lot. My husband is a fireman, and so he's home here and there. But just thankful that we have a sweet little family, and in a totally different season of life of just getting to mom and learn how to keep my home, but at the same time raise our family and hopefully raise them in ways that would honor the Lord, as well as be respectful to the things that we grew up with and know is pono and aloha. So
yeah, you're a teacher now, like certified teacher.
I know. I realize, like, do I get the teacher discount now at Apple? That's what I need to know.
Oh my gosh, genius. Can they turn you away?
I don't know.
That's discrimination. Let's write a letter. But did you, like, what has been something that's really surprised you about homeschooling them?
That I'm homeschooling them. I never thought I would homeschool ever. I
really?
always,
that was never your plan?
I will say, even after I had kids, I thought, okay, wow, make it to kindergarten. And then like you kind of can
Send
have you go to school, and then like, it's like the first time you have for yourself till you can work out again and all these things. Or I like to do a lot of projects. I'm a very busybody. And it was funny. Kindergarten came, we did this homeschool hybrid with Thurston, which we loved. And we did it for 6 months. And then I just missed him. And I realized, man, I think there's a way that we can make this work. And so we tried it out. We pulled him out for the second half. And I will say, the first year I homeschooled both of them, I thought, I've made a big mistake. What have I just done? And we kind of got over a hump. And a lot of it was trying to teach them how to read, because I realized I'm not patient in certain things. But it's funny because you press through the things that are hard. And there is actually a profound joy and fulfillment by getting to see them accomplish something, even for yourself, that you realize, wow, that I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I'd make it. And I feel like once we kind of got through some of the hiccups of when you're starting, like, what's our rhythm, then it's become a real joy. And I think I've been loving to get to see my kids actually learn in front of me. Like, I get to see how they even learn. Like, Thurston did his first $1 million
$1 million,
yeah,
not $1
million.
Kids.
He made his first million.
Yeah.
That's what we really do in homeschool. No, but he had to like add $1 million together, and I was like, wow. Or like today, actually, Bubba just finished it's kindergarten, first grade. No, they're in first grade, second grade. Forgive me, but Bubba finished his first grade math because we started last year, so he will start second grade math next week. And those are just really cool milestones to get to see your kids do that. I know not everyone is able to do it, and especially living in Hawaii, it's hard because everyone needs to work. So I'm grateful that we're able to, obviously we're sacrificing some things, but it's been a blessing and a gift to get to see my kids and learn and see what they love, and hopefully lean into those things too. And I'm growing along the way as well. So as much as they're learning like math and handwriting and all the things that go with that, and history, I'm also growing, hopefully in character, with patience, with even how can I be a better planner, and the little things that you need. And so it's been a really cool season.
Do you think that like the dynamic, the way that they looked at you changed when you became their teacher too? Or do they just like not think anything different?
I mean,
it's hard because they're young, but
does this count? Like, Mom, we want to go to real school every day. Is that something you're talking about? No, there was that phase where I'm like,
they didn't like it at first.
they liked it, but then they would hear their friends going to school. They're like, when did we go to real school? And because Thurston had like a snippet of
Real school.
you know, hybrid school, yeah, but we just kind of leave it open-handed every year. We're like, we'll see what we're gonna do. And right now it's worked really well for our schedule, our family schedule, especially with I have a girls event called Bloom, as well as I'm in a band called Zeo Worship, and kind of juggling some of those things. It's easier to be able to bring them along to those things. So like even last fall, we were recording for Zeo Worship a Christmas album throughout the fall, and they came with me to the studio every Monday and they loved it. And they would ask, actually, when we don't do any albums for a while, they're like, we haven't been to the studio a while. Can we go back to the studio? I'm like, oh, okay, let's just check with Uncle Emo and we'll see what we can rack up. But I feel like that is a school in itself too, to get to do things or even travel. If we're going to do Bloom on Hawaii Island or Maui, it's like they can come with us. And so that's helpful.
That's a real world experience.
Yeah.
Because you're super famous. Like
I'm not.
Blue Ivy's not going to a real school. You just gotta tell Thurston and Bubba. You know what? Northwest is not going to real school. She's at home with us.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think Northwest does go to real school.
I don't know. I would think they need security probably.
Bubba needs security. Yeah, Bubba and Thurston need security.
Bubba would need security for other reasons, though, I think. If you know, you know.
The things around him. Yeah. Because you are the most famous person I know. Literally.
You don't know that many people. I'm so sorry.
I guess so. No.
No, actually, you're now the most famous person I know. You know, like Miss Hawaii.
Wow.
Miss Hawaii 2023.
None of us ever saw that coming.
No, I mean,
that was.
I want to ask you a question and turn it around. Like, what was that like?
Oh my gosh. No, everybody in our family was like, what? You're doing what? And a lot of people don't know. They just assume, oh my gosh, you wanted to be Miss Hawaii and you went and did it. Like, good job. But I never wanted that. I'm like such a klutz. I'm always falling down and I'm just like super all over the place.
But you held your own in those high heels.
In those high heels, yes. Poise and grace are not adjectives anyone would have ever used to describe me. And so I literally when I told everybody, they were laughing. Like, what are you doing as Miss Hawaii?
But while we were there, I mean, even for like the one in Hawaii Theater, when you became Miss Hawaii, the whole family were just like so proud of you and beaming. And obviously, for those that don't know your story, your mom had passed a few years before that. And we're all thinking of Auntie Liz, your mom, and just like how proud she would be. Like, and my dad's with the Lord too. So like, Puna or Uncle Charlie and Auntie Liz, can you imagine, like, wow, Star is our little Star has become a star in her own right, has become Miss Hawaii 2023. My name is Stardoll Thurston.
I'm Stardoll Thurston, and I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii.
But I think it's such a testimony too when you go, because you went through hard things and to persevere. And I almost feel like those are the things that perhaps even propel you to the places that you would never imagine when you persevere that way. Yeah,
when I was on that stage and I was crowned Miss Hawaii, kind of the last thing on your mind is Miss Hawaii. Like, I had only done that for Mom. She'd always said growing up, okay, you could be Miss Hawaii if you wanted to. She was a makeup artist, so she would see all these women and think, oh, Star could do this, and really liked how she encouraged other women, or liked how these women were being encouraging to younger women like me, because I would go along with her like the boys go with you to like the gigs that she would do makeup. I remember going to a lot of events that Juliet Leiter was speaking at, and she was doing a lot against domestic violence. And
WSO.
Yeah, when I was like 10 years old, I was watching her speak, just like watching this beautiful young woman encouraging people, and I just have like people like that in my mind. And so when I finally set out to do that, to honor Mom, it was all about her. And also, I just wanted to feel anything but sadness.
Yeah.
Because she had died maybe a year or so before that. And so I was just overcoming my own trauma. And I thought, okay, if I can find joy again, when I was in a place I never thought I could have joy again, anybody else can too. You're not so stuck in that. And that's what Miss Hawaii was for me. It wasn't about the glitter and the heels. And that was fun. And I come to really like glitter and sparkles and sequins. But it was really about the perseverance and just becoming a better version of myself to represent Mom.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
If you had to tell like a young girl what you think is most important, if you're running for Miss Hawaii, for example, like, or even if you could go back to tell Star 2 years ago when he first went Miss Chinatown, what would you say to that Star?
At first I was so driven by like shame, because this is such a public way to grow. and to overcome things, because you can't help but think about looking perfect. You know, that first time I ran from Miss Chinatown, the scariest thing in my mind was feeling like too big on stage. Because I'd always been
like too tall or
no, chubby. I'd always felt
That's
chubby.
crazy.
And when I was in school, kids would make fun of me for being fat. And it was like lighthearted. It wasn't intense bullying that you see stories about, but it was something that I was really insecure about, because I'm mixed and I went to school with a lot of Asian girls. Like prepubescent Asian girls are 90 pounds.
Yeah.
I was like 5'8" in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
and just heavier and bigger. And it wasn't until I actually started running for Miss Hawaii that I was like, wait, I'm a normal size. Like I'm not big by any means. And I've gotten on my fitness, and it's been something that I really love to do now for health. But at first it was like about trauma. Like I thought I had to be so skinny just to do that. And so I was overcoming my own insecurities. And so I would tell myself to just be so much more graceful with what you're addressing, or like with yourself, you know, because it's never really about the thing you think it's about. Mm-hmm. And I think being a believer and loving the Lord adds another factor, because I got to submit to him. Like, what am I really here for? Because it was obvious that the door had opened, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this for Mom. I have a good reason. And I'll just let you do the rest. And what ended up happening was totally transformation of my heart. I feel like I elevated as a person just by becoming more in touch with who I am, and deciding what was going to shape me as I would continue, because I felt like there was life before Mom died, and then there was life after.
Yeah.
And you get to decide what that looks like, because I can hold on to all of the trauma. Like it's right here. It's like right behind me, you know, like in a backpack. Like I can just put it on. It never goes away, and it doesn't fade so much, that kind of trauma and sadness. But you can decide to also put it down and take on new things, and fill your backpack with other things that bring joy and peace, and share that. So I've learned it's a lot about decision making.
Yeah. Making that choice for sure.
You're kind of an inspiration, by the way, to young girls everywhere.
Oh.
Bloom Conference, which I've had the pleasure to going to almost all of them. I was in college for a few of them.
Yeah.
But what year was the first one?
We started in 2013. And I had done events similar on the mainland, which took me away from Hawaii to Nashville. I thought it'd be like a 6-month stint, and it ended up being 8 years on the mainland. And when I moved back home, got married in 2012, I thought, I wish there was something like that for girls here in Hawaii. And so I started this girls conference called Bloom. And initially it was a 2-day event, Friday, Saturday, where I had been able to meet. I was a worship leader, but I also got to sing backup for Natalie Grant for 8 years. And in the time that I was in Nashville, you make a lot of friends, and it's just like Hawaii. It's a very small community. And I thought, well, I'll just bring my friends. and so that's what I did. I mean, Annie F. Downs was our first guest. We had
she's incredible.
Lauren Daigle had come, who was just here for her concert. Christine
But she
Kate.
shouted you out at the concert. She
I know.
entered and she goes, I don't know if you guys know Tiffany Thurston, my really, really good friend. But, and I was like, I know her.
I know her.
I was like, yes.
That was very kind of her. She's very sweet.
Did you get like 200,000 more followers after that? Like, Tiffany Thurston.
Star. So yeah, Lauren, or like just Kara or Natalie, she had come to Bloom, and really the heart and the hope of it was, when I was that age, I wish there was someone a little older than me encouraging me and telling me the things that are true. And it's like, of course we can hear what our moms say, but there's something about hearing, like we could read from the same script. Like your mom can say something, and then you can give it to like an older sis.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, oh, it's like epiphanies and like revelation. And then you're like, I've been saying the same thing. I'm reading from the same script, but you just hear it differently. And so just kind of hearing it from a big sis was kind of, I thought, a really fascinating thing. And I realized too, I want to help girls to bloom where they're planted. And that was a big part of my story of just not, I think, especially being a local girl from Hawaiian, you always are saying like, oh, if I get to the mainland, then I can do this thing, or the only way to accomplish my dream is to be able to wait for that. But there's a reason why God has you in your city, in your town, in your church, your community, your school, even your family for such a time as this. But he wants to develop character, muscles, patience, trust, all these qualities that we sometimes forget that we actually need per season in our life. And so that's where Bloom kind of was birthed out of, was just hoping to help girls to bloom where they're planted, become all that God created them to be, and to equip, inspire, empower, and show them that God has a plan for them.
So awesome. These conferences have given me so much life. And I remember going to the first couple and thinking, wow, if I could become a woman that could be on stage and be encouraging other people, like I don't need to be on the stage, but I want to be the type of woman that could get asked to do something like that. And it all came full circle this year when Spiff, you called me and was like, would you speak at Bloom Conference? I just about pooped my pants. I was like, what?
And this year we got to go to Hawaii Island, Maui for the first time, and Oahu. And yeah, I remember after you won Miss Hawaii, I'm like, and to see your walk with the Lord and also your walk with losing your mom, there is, I think I saw for you just a maturity that was entrusted to you too, because of the things that you've experienced. Not many people your age experience all that you've experienced in such a short time and so young, but it was just really cool to see how the Lord, and that was totally the Lord, because you came to mind. I'm like, I didn't want to fly anybody in. I wanted to do someone local that was blooming here, and you said yes, and you were able to do all of them. And the coolest part for me was we did these Q&As kind of similar like this, and to see your responses and your answers, like I need to get footage and put it on our Instagram, but it was so wise and so beyond your years. And then to see people respond and react to that, it was so cool to hear how encouraged people were. That now it's like, because as I'm getting older, I'm like, I can still help run things, but I don't know how old I'm gonna be blooming, you know. I mean, I'm gonna bloom in my old age, yes, but like, just really our target audience is 12 to 22, and all ages are welcome, but really it's the 12-year-olds and the 22-year-olds that are looking up to you, that are just a little older, you know, you're just a little older than them, that they're like, wow, like I'm so encouraged by Star and her story and her boldness, and to see you shine the way you did for Miss Hawaii, but also in wherever God places you. And I think that's such a important thing for us girls to see. And even I know the kupuna and people that my mom's, all her friends are like, I'm so encouraged, you know. And so it's amazing though. I think when you gather together and you get to have some honest conversations and seeing like, how are you doing this, or how are you processing losing your mom, or how are you dealing with dating, or all those things that girls want to know right now, but to see someone filter it through a biblical lens, or one that would honor the Lord, I think it's really important, and we don't get enough of it. So thank you for helping us to bloom.
Oh my gosh, what an affirmation. It's crazy because as a younger girl going to Bloom and seeing these amazing speakers that were just your buddies sharing, you think, wow, I want to be like that. You know, there's such amazing role models, and you included. And now, you know, listening to you say those things, it's funny because it's not like I don't feel like I've done anything to deserve that or earn that. Like, it's just what life's handed me, and it just comes out because it's something that I experience and gave to the Lord. Because I think when I was younger, I thought like you work to get that, or like you earned that spot by reading your Bible every day and doing your devotions, and it was all on your back. Yeah. But then after Mom died, I was like, oh, I can't do this on my own. Like every single day, being a caregiver also, I just graduated college. Caregiving, I was out of my element. And every single day I thought, I cannot do this anymore. Like I can't go one more day. Yeah. And then you keep going. And I realized like that was not on my back. That was completely because of the grace of God. Like it wasn't because of me.
That's grace. It's sufficient for us, right? It's not that in our strength. Actually, he's made more powerful in our weakness. Yeah. And I think that was amazing for me to watch you go through that too. And I would think that anyone that has been on the Bloom stage, or all of my friends that you think, wow, I think they have similar stories where they're normal people that the Lord just decided to use in that capacity, but they're faithful to whatever God has asked of them. And in the same way, if the Lord's asking you to obviously help your mom in this season while she was needing help, you were doing that. And I think that those stories really connect, and because those are real, and that's real life.
You know, I remember, I think it was the first Bloom ever, and Krista Black was sharing, and she is such a powerhouse woman, so vulnerable, like I've never seen somebody speak sobbing, and
Yeah.
she's sharing about, you know, lost babies and her experiences. It was just blowing my mind. I didn't think that somebody could be that way.
Yeah.
And now that I have gone through something that you don't always want to talk about, you don't want to share about it, but then you realize, well, God help me through that so you can share with other people. Like, our stories heal other people, and Krista shared so much, but I just admire her so much more, seeing the strength that it took to dig back into that every time that you want to encourage or share your testimony. It's so freeing too, because something that I thought would just keep me stuck in pain has also been freeing and liberating for me.
Yeah, to share it, I think is powerful. And it's not a potion that you have, a magic potion that you're drinking and you're like, okay, no, I'm better.
I'm
but it's putting one foot in front of the other, but resting on the promises and truths that you know. And so
good. You talk about Bloom a lot with a lot of people because it's an amazing conference and it's become so successful, and you really did that on your own back. But I kind of want to talk about Revolve, like everything that built up to that, because I know Bloom was on your heart for a really long time while you were on the Revolve tour. Can you talk a little bit about what Revolve is and how that even started?
Yeah, Revolve is a girls' conference that doesn't exist anymore. But at the time, this was in 2007, I got hired as the worship leader it was going into the third year. They were doing arena tours.
Which was major.
Major.
Like, this girl from Kailua, all of a sudden, like, worshiping tens of thousands of women.
Yeah, and the way they even happened, so I'll rewind the tape a little bit. When I was 19, I was like in the choir, the youth choir for our church, and we were like the opening act for a Christian artist that was coming in. For Him was like the main act, which if you've been around a long time, then you're like, oh yeah, For Him is my jam. But the opening act, who was a brand new artist, her name was Natalie Grant. She was just starting out. I remember I snuck into sound check for Natalie. Never heard her before. And she like did I Love the Lord from The Preacher's Wife, Whitney Houston. Oh my gosh, love that song and version. And her husband Bernie was playing piano. Then I'll never forget it. And I just listened to her saying, I love the Lord. And my jaw dropped. I'm like, and I was like, took me to church, and I thought, wow, I always loved like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera. Those were like my singing, role models. And I just thought, wow, if someone with that kind of voice sings for the Lord, I really want to sing for the Lord too. And I had just was newly saved in those years. And so that night I got to sing a little solo. We did, remember His Eye on a Sparrow? I got to sing a part of that from.
That'll go down in New Hope's like Hall of Fame clips. You and her singing.
And she and her husband, Natalie and Bernie, were just really kind and said some really kind words to me, that encouragement basically that night. And I remember I just like held it and I was like, thank you so much. And it was really life-giving. Fast forward the tape, like 8 years later, I get a call out of the blue from Natalie. She's like, hey, I don't know what you've been up to, but you've been in my heart. I've never heard the Lord speak audibly, but I feel like I'm supposed to call you. Do you still sing? There's a conference that's looking for a new worship leader. And she had no idea. I just left my job at New Hope Oahu. I was a creative director there for a few years. And I had stepped down just to kind of see what the Lord had next. So they're like, do you have anything of you leading worship? I'm like, actually, our church just released an album and I'm on a few of those songs. So I submitted that. They hired me sight unseen. And I ended up becoming the worship leader for this girls event, teen girls event. Also, on a side note, the last weekend I was at in Hawaii at New Hope Oahu, I was releasing my first album under Tiffany Thurston, and I was going to be an opening act for an artist that they brought in who just so happened to be Natalie Grant, like in Hawaii at New Hope. It was crazy. So it was like all the things colliding, coming together. That weekend, she was like, hey, I haven't had a girl singer in a while. You're going to be on this tour. I'm going to be on this tour when we're not on Revolve. Like, would you want to sing with me? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can pencil you in. Like, wow. I mean, just someone that I looked up to. And so that happened. So I got basically Revolve tour as a worship leader. Got to sing backup for Natalie starting that season. And Revolve was wild. It was this huge, it was 8 to 10,000 teenage girls per event. And we did that first year, it was a 16 city tour. So every Friday, Saturday, we would fly to, our first one was Columbus, Ohio. There was 12,000 girls there that first time, 12 or 11. And then it was like New Jersey or Florida, Orlando or Anaheim. And we were playing in all arenas. So it was it was my first touring experience, and I was spoiled for sure. I'm like, wow, this is what touring is. I want to do this forever. And I did that. I thought it'd be a 6-month stint, and I ended up getting to do it for the next 8 years. And the reason why I stopped was because I moved home to get married and have some family and kids. And so I still get to sing here and there. And obviously, like with our band now, we get to do some stuff with Zeal Worship. But yeah, it was a fun season to get to travel the world. And I just loved what Revolve was doing, because they were hitting the girls, and their age range was really 12 to 18, but it was really, how can we present the gospel to these girls and hopefully encourage them to live for the Lord. So
do you think that's where you first got that idea planted?
Oh yeah. I had never seen anything like it. And so I think when you get to see it, and I'm a very visual person, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, I wish
like this is possible.
This is like, yes, I didn't know how. And I will say it was the Lord that helped me to do everything here in Hawaii, because I literally started Bloom with $0 and I think 5 like airline miles and my mom and dad's house. And I was like, hey, Annie, I can't pay you anything, but I have airline miles. Will you fly over and like you can stay at my mom and dad? And that's how Bloom
and your
started.
mom's so stoked. She's the best hostess.
She's
like,
the hostess with the
here.
mostest.
Yeah.
And
we're going to Boots and Chemos. Yeah.
Yes, the best. And so that was kind of how it started. And I told, I think it was 10 of my friends that I knew loved the Lord, had a heart for girls that lived in Hawaii. And I just said, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And they're like, we're in. I'm like, really? And so literally started with like just a dream, friends, and a little bit of vision, and boom.
Boom.
And so we've had 11 years. We've had over 12,000 girls come through Bloom over the years. And that counts the years that we couldn't do for COVID. But it's been cool to see like what the Lord is doing. And every year it looks a little different, but the heart is still the same.
It blows my mind that you did that from scratch, really, like from nothing. And you've built like this amazing empire for women, you know, not to just benefit yourself, but to have, you've created community in such a beautiful way that has become a safe place. And people now will just mention it to me like, oh, did you go to Bloom? Have you gone to Bloom? Not knowing that you're my cousin. Because before it's like, oh, your cousin's doing this thing. Now it's like, oh, that's your cousin? Oh my gosh.
Well, now they're like, oh, that's your cousin, Miss Hawaii? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, there was one moment, because everyone's always like, oh my gosh, your name is Thurston. Do you know Tiffany Thurston? I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. But somebody asked you about me.
Oh, yeah.
And I will hold that in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
It just needed to happen one time.
It is swapped.
Like, yeah.
The baton has been passed.
And I never need it again. Now I'm like, okay, you have the spotlight again. I had my moment. I'm a has-been. I'll go into.
I'm like, get the new crops in right here.
New crops. I'm harvested from the ground already.
It's the whole Bloom idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Planting.
My seed's been planted, grown, harvested.
Yes.
Plant the new seeds,
yes.
please. Yeah.
It's time to grow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and you're also a singer. Did you like that? Was that really
I
good?
loved it.
Because I've always been like, Spiff, will you teach me how to sing? She's like, you can't. No,
I have never said that. Everyone has a little voice in them, and it ranges, but there's always potential. I was telling you, actually, remember I told you we should try singing for Miss Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
I told you that.
Did. Can you imagine if I got on that stage and actually sang a song?
I tell you, like, I used to go to Neva Rego, who's a singer, and she used to, a singing teacher. She's not longer with us, but she was amazing. Like Uncle Robert Casamero used to go to her. And
she's a coach.
She's a coach, singing teacher, kind of close to where you grew up, Kamuki side. And she would often have a lot of the Miss Hawaiis. And so sometimes when I'd be leaving my like singing lessons, I would see like the up and coming Miss Hawaiis that are, vying. So I used to think like, oh, you can train them. And you just, once you learn one song, you just need to do one song in your right key.
Okay.
And nail it.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. And you have the range.
Song. Whoa.
Look at this stuff.
Oh my God.
Isn't it neat?
Okay. The Little Mermaid came out and I was like super obsessed with it. And the song, it was stuck in my head, and I sent Tiffany this singing video. Kind of just like a joke. I wasn't like, this is my audition for Little Mermaid. I was just like, And then she was like, responded back. I thought it was going to be laughing emoji. And she was like, that was pretty good at this one point. I went, oh no.
Yes. No,
no.
I could hear the potential in your voice.
Wow. That's game changer.
So maybe Mrs. Hawaii.
Oh my God.
Point.
Yeah. Forget podcast. Put me on the worship
Next
team.
album.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I was talking to one of the worship leaders at the church I go to. And I was like, you guys, like maybe I could be on the worship team. They're like, yeah, we'll just give you one of those fake mics that's like it has the wire on the end that like reverberates. And they're like, yeah, you could stand up there though. You could just dance around and we'll give you that unplugged mic. And I went, Honestly, I'll take it at this point. I'd love that.
Well, the thing is too about you, if you haven't watched Star's Instagram stories,
Oh no.
there are a series of her carrying around her karaoke mic.
The way I love this karaoke machine that recently broke, I had to buy a new one. But I don't know what it is. It was this speaker that had a strap around it and it had wireless mics.
Legend.
Instantly, I felt like the most famous person in the world. And I thought, if I want to hear my voice, everybody wants to hear it. So I would literally take it to the beach. We would karaoke at the beach, our family beach days.
Yes, our family beach days.
And the only person worse than me is my
Dad.
He's like, yeah, bring that over here. He'll grab it from your hand and he'll start going off on his songs. He's like, yeah. And then everyone's kind of dying down. You know, you do it once or twice. People are like, haha. And then they're like, okay, stop. We're in public, right? Like everyone's looking. And Dad's like, run it back.
No
Let's go.
No
Michael
shame.
Jackson. Oh my gosh, such good fun.
It's so good fun.
We egg each other on. It's kind of like you and your dad.
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, me and Star are cousins because our dads are brothers. So Uncle Diggy, my dad, Uncle Charlie, and totally, it's very similar. I know. Dad would be like, yes, I'm there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think about him so much that way. He had like the best sense of humor, dry.
Oh.
Your mom likes to say, you guys are all dry, and
She would
won't
say
get
like,
it all
you
the
guys
time.
are sick. She's
Yeah,
like, I don't get it.
I don't
and I'm like, it's the funniest thing ever.
Yes. But I've learned recently I have to be a little bit more palatable, I guess you say, because I'll get too dry. I'll just be like, yeah, that was gross. But I'm completely joking, but my face and my tone is like super serious. I'm working on it, praying about it.
That's so funny. I'm working on, well, since I got married to Kyoki, my husband has sarcastic personality or like just humor. And I feel like I did not grow up with sarcasm at all. So it took me a while. Like he would say things. I'm like, huh?
That hurts my feelings.
But I remember the first time we went to pick you up, Star.
Oh no.
So
yeah. I remember
me and Kyoki are Kamehameha graduates.
Imua. I'm dead.
And I was like, I gotta go pick up my cousin Star. He's like, where? And we were just dating at the time. And he's like, I'm like, Punahou. What? I'm not going on that campus. And I was like, it'll be really quick. Like, brah. And I was like, you got to meet my cousin. So we met, and it was funny because when you guys first started interacting, you were in high school at the time.
Yeah.
You totally got his jokes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Star,
like, what?
like knows sarcasm, and she's really smart. She's got smart humor.
Whoa.
And I feel like you still have that. You kind of have those little digs that are unique to.
They're quiet. My favorite kind of joke is when I say it for the one person next to me. I don't need everyone to hear the joke. It's like a little,
Yes.
and they get it.
Yes.
Cooks is the same way. He'll
Yes.
make comments. Every like 5 out
Goes
of 6
over their
people.
head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But one person will be like,
Yes. No, it
Yeah.
is sly. It's sneaky. It's sleeper.
sleeper agent.
Sleeper agent, sleeper sarcasm, sleeper humor.
So good. Cooks is so funny that way.
He's
he
really
comes
funny.
off quiet.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got lines.
Oh, totally. He's really funny. Like, I feel like the longer I'm married to him, I'm like, you're really funny. I'm sorry I didn't get this like when we first were married. But wow, that's really good.
I'm sorry for the past versions of myself that didn't get it.
I'm growing. I'm blooming in my own way.
Blooming never
blooming in
stops.
sarcasm.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus. And he can sing too. I remember you saying he's
We
actually a
met
singer.
in concert glee, and he's 2 years older than me, and he will never sing for anybody. Like I think
ever.
I've heard him sing like 3 times, and we've been married 12
No way.
years.
And like you caught him singing, or he was like, "Okay, I'll show you."
Oh, I have to like. It has to be the right moment, and I have to just be lucky. It has to be, full moon out, second moon of the month. Like, just has
Full
to be
eclipse,
a rare. Yeah. It's a rare moment that you get to do that and hear it and experience it. But yeah, he's funny because in high school he was not shy, and he's a lot more shy.
No kidding.
Yep. Oh, he
like,
was
super
life
out
of the
there?
party. I was a shy
No
one.
way.
Yes.
Oh my
High school
gosh.
pictures, like I feel like it's funny that even like we're married because I'm like, I can't believe I married Kyoki Lifty Cow. He's gonna kill me for saying all this right now.
Sorry, Kyoks, love you so much.
Yes, love you, mean it. He likes to be in the background. He does not want to have any of the spotlight, which is perfect for my personality because I'm like, hello. So you're probably gonna marry someone like that too, I feel. But yeah, he was very outgoing, very like, to me, life of the party, and what I would have thought would have been like loud and like no shame. And then he attributes it to finding the Lord because he's like, I have like a sense now and conviction.
Yeah,
and
and self-control.
like he's he's self-control. He's like understands like life and people around you. And now he's a lot more like introverted and thinker type, but still really funny, especially in a smaller community that people that he knows and feels comfortable with. But
I feel like it took a while for him to kind of warm up too in like family settings.
Yeah.
Like big family
Oh,
settings.
yeah.
Now he's way more like.
And my sister Tatum is kind of similar, where she's the opposite of me, right? So when they first like got to meet each other and get to know each other, they're both like, I don't know what to ask them. I don't know what to ask her. And I'm like, you guys talk like all the time normal to me. Like, and now it's like normal. It's great.
Yeah.
But it was funny, like the initial, like just getting used to feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
And so
When you and Keoks have like the story of a lifetime, like the ultimate dream Disney story. Like if Disney and the Bible collided, like that would be your love story.
I'm
And
very
there's
grateful.
there's a video on Tiffany's website of their love story.
Yeah.
And it's
Go on YouTube. Just type in Tiffany Kyoki love story and you'll find it's like a 20.
that's how famous she
minute.
is. You don't even need her last name. Tiffany Kyoki love story. You're making my point for me. Blue Ivy, your children are Blue Ivy. Also, back to Kyoki about the Punahou thing, because I went to Punahou, they went to Kamehameha.
Yeah.
When you guys named your son Punahoa,
Yes.
it's so close to Punahou that they have this whiteboard in their room, and I would go in there and I would just erase the A.
Yes.
To wait for Kyoki to
drive Kyoki nuts.
and
You're
he
like,
would go
what?
and go Punahou. It's like the little things. Like I wanted to buy him a Punahou onesie with the O. Like
Oh,
it's just
you
so
came
good.
to the hospital when Punahou with your Punahou hat on.
That's right.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Punahoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Punahou is a family name. So Thurston is my oldest, which is my maiden name, and my married name is Lifty Cow now. But so his name is not Thurston. A lot of people think that it's Thurston Lifty Cow. But Punahou was actually Kyoki's grandmother Tutu that raised him. Her maiden name was Punahou, and so that's how and why we named Punahou Punahou.
No, it's so beautiful, but it's just so perfect.
It is so close. It's a little too close for comfort.
Yeah,
at
certainly
times.
for him. Yeah, but I love it. Obsessed.
Yes, obsessed.
I'm just gonna buy the Punahou. I wanted to buy those Punahou shirts and then add the A. Like, here you go.
He'll burn them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, he literally would burn them on an open fire in an apartment. He would start a fire with logs in the
on a
apartment
live
building.
Instagram feed. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't ever go on Instagram. Create a live just to burn it, and that's the flaming pea. Okay, love story.
Okay.
Back on track.
Yep.
Finding a husband.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was a professional single. I was 32 when I got married. Kyoki was 34. I had maybe had 2 boyfriends for like a hot second, and my first boyfriend wasn't until 24. And I remember thinking, like, nobody likes me. Like, why? And mom and dad were like, well, maybe they're just intimidated with you. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I'm like, is it because I'm big boned or what?
Yeah.
She's just a little husky.
It's
you
when
know?
they say like they're mean to you because they like you. Is that true? Because it doesn't feel that way, mom.
Yes. So I remember like thinking like, oh, like, is it going to be my time? And then of course your friends start getting married. My sister got married before me. And you're like, oh, nobody likes me. Anyway, I look back now and I'm like, that is grace. That is grace of the Lord. And I am thankful that a lot of the guys that I'd liked did not like me, because we're all better for it. And so that I'm grateful for now. But in the midst of it, you're like, I want to feel loved. And it's like, I think you almost are in love with the idea of love, but what do you really want in a person, and someone that you want to live the rest of your life with? And so I feel like Kyoki and I had a longer time to bake, and like separately, and then when we came together, we were very different people than when we first met in high school. So knew each other in high school, we were friends, but like 15 years later when we started dating, we definitely had, shifted our worldviews and came together. We were just running, and all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, you're here.
Oh, you're here. You guys were baked in like a Williams Sonoma stainless steel oven. Meanwhile, we're out here in easy bake ovens.
Oh my gosh.
Are you my husband? Are you my husband?
No, I literally just told somebody this week. I feel like if I could go back and tell myself, my single self, something, I would say I would have done a lot less looking and a lot more living. I think it's so easy to be like, is it him? 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 And you're just consumed.
Even I can't stop myself. Like, I'm like, Lord, whenever the time is right. But then you can't help but think of the future. And I'm like, okay, stop.
And those are good desires to have. But if I had realized like, wow, you just run your race, the things that God has set before you. And as you're running, like, things will happen in its time, because you don't want to awaken love before the time is right either. And I think there's a quote. Oh, I'm going to look it up. Wait, somewhere. It's so good. And just remembering what looks to us like a good thing might actually ruin us, and how thankful I am for God's withholdings. And that's Elizabeth Elliot. She was a wife of a missionary. She was a missionary herself. But I love that because sometimes we just want what we want now. And we're in that kind of a world and a culture, like instant gratification.
Yeah.
But let it develop.
Right.
Let it bake, let it cook. Even like a chocolate souffle, if you take it out too soon, it's not as good. And I think the people that we also become in the meantime is just as important, right? And so you don't come, Pastor Wayne married us, and Pastor Wayne Cordero, he said, you don't come down the aisle as half a person and Kyoki's a half a man. You come as a whole person, and they come as a whole man, and then two become one. And I thought that was such a great picture and a reminder of, if you don't have it today, then you don't need it. There's a reason why you're still single, and what can you do with the time that you have left?
Writing that down. Thank you.
Because it could happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something too, where I've always wanted to write a book. I haven't done it yet. 30 things to do if you're not married by 30.
That's so good. And you started doing that. You jumped out of a plane.
I did at
which
30.
You are kind of, I don't want to say you're a scaredy cat.
I'm a scaredy cat.
Okay.
I'm scared of ET and buttons.
Wait, are you really scared of
Yes.
ET? Oh my God. Did you know that my middle toe looks like ET's finger? That's literally the one thing that I think it looks like.
What?
I know. I'm going to show it to you right now, but there's cameras.
Not now.
Okay, after I'll show you. But yeah, because my middle toe is longer than all my other toes. And when you cover the other ones, it looks like ET's
ET phone home.
finger.
Oh my gosh. Star.
What about it are you afraid of?
Well,
The aliens?
it was scary. Like, I think when it came out, I was just at that age where it was like, oh, it's kind of scary. It was in like the early 80s.
Okay, it also is scary.
It is.
Like the
And
way
then
they animated it.
What took it over the edge for me was we had a life-size like human mask of ET that my dad would put on and chase me around the house with and go, ET phone home, ET phone home. And I'm like, traumatized me.
Where did you get a
I
life-size
don't know.
mask?
I don't know, but that traumatized me, and my dad would laugh hysterical. Can you hear your dad laughing like so
Yes.
hard?
No,
Like-
my dad's like that too. I'm like,
Yes.
it's not funny. And I'm mortified.
Like just
Okay.
giggling like it's the funniest little thing ever in the world. Traumatized me.
Wow, ET. I'm holding that. One of the boys is gonna have a ET.
No, he's not.
theme
No, they're
party.
not. I will burn that and make a live Instagram
That's
feed
your
for that.
punaho. Oh my gosh. So every year the boys have like a themed birthday party, and I will like dress up and I don't know.
Star is the best auntie cousin to have because literally we do these theme parties. I mean,
It's like Ninja Turtles.
Ninja
like
Turtles,
Lifeguard.
I mean, and she commits 1,000%. Like the kids that come now to my kids' parties can't wait to see. Even the parents actually, they're like, I can't wait to see what Star's gonna do.
Yeah, we're like 3-4 years in.
Like
Now
I
they're
should
like-
actually pay you because you're kind of our entertainment. We don't even do games anymore. We just wait to see what Auntie Star is gonna
Oh
try.
yeah, I've got props.
Oh, yeah.
I've got inflatables because it's always at the beach. I've got some kind of on theme inflatable. Full costume.
I need to find pictures and I will send it to you. You need to see these photos because like the Ninja Turtle ones.
Because we've got like 8 in the bag now.
You made those what's it called? Those kind of weapons.
It's like a nunchuck, but one.
But it was like out of
Like
the
a
pool
staff.
noodle, a black
Yeah.
pool noodle, and you wrapped it. Like the kids love that. I mean, there was a year that Thurston was really into being a policeman, so we did the Miami Vice theme, and you showed up to the beach with your full police garb. People thought you were actually a police woman.
Yes, and I had like my get out of the, what is that called?
Oh, your
Megaphone.
yeah.
Megaphone, and it had like a siren on it.
Totally.
And I would siren
with the emblem, everything.
Yeah, and I would go, get out of the pool, get out of the ocean. Everyone's like, I think we got in trouble. They're like, you can't use that. You're like,
But then you had like a second act for that one. You're like changed into like a burglar.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you had all the kids like running after you, and all the parents were like, Star is the best because we're just watching you
Okay, but
entertain all the kids.
that time I was running for Miss Chinatown or like Miss Hawaii in between. So I was in phenomenal shape. Okay, I was at Orange Theory. I was running. I had overcome my asthma in this one season. I've now been sucked back into asthmatic life. So that's no longer me. I'm educated myself that you can't beat asthma forever.
And the last other good one was when we had Bubba's animal party, which was I think like 2 years ago, and you brought, because our last name is Lifty, cow.
Yes.
You brought Lifty the cow.
It was cow themed, which
was
is my
cow
dream.
themed.
I loved cow print.
And
everything.
then remember Lifty got lost at sea. We were at Ko'olina
Oh my gosh.
and
yes.
went beyond the reef like Moana. And then there was
dangerous
like
beyond the
literally
reef.
like that boat that came and found lifty and like picked
like
him
a
up.
4-man canoe. Like took the it was like a cow inflatable.
Yes.
And then it was gone. And then your mom ran after it with Bubba running after
opposite,
to Lagoon 1. Okay, we're
from
in
Lagoon 4.
If you know anything about Coatlina, that's far away. That's 5-minute
so
drive.
far.
Okay, and she's running past. Yeah. They emerge like an hour later.
Yeah.
With
no, she didn't find it, and then we actually before we left, we're like, okay, I'm gonna drive back to Lagoon 1 and just see. And I, by the grace of God, found them just as they're leaving for the day. And I'm like, by any chance, did you guys pick up an inflatable cow? We did.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
I like texted like the group thread and like, Lifty the cow lives.
Yeah. And he's like deflated. Like, you know what my favorite one though is the whale.
Oh my gosh.
Him?
Yes.
Tom.
Tom.
How did I remember that?
Yes.
See, it holds a piece of my heart.
Got this like 8-foot, 10-foot life-size whale.
Yeah,
inflatable.
But it's like you're supposed to ride it in the pool.
Brought it to Kid City.
That's right. It was at Kid City. They're like, you can't bring that in here. I went, watch me. They're like, no inflatables here.
It was a total hit. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kids loved it.
And then he lived.
He lived on one of the bunk beds
on Bubba's
for
bed.
months.
And Bubba had to sleep down like underneath with Thurston.
Yes.
Tom.
They still ask, where's Tom? And I'm like, we had to deflate him for now.
Do you still have him or he's gone?
We have him somewhere. I think he's like in a old cooler.
That's code for it's at Goodwill.
Maybe.
That's okay.
We'll see. We live in a condo, so
yeah, you got to.
We only got so much space, you know. And I'm trying to be a minimalist now, but
yeah, I feel like you've like walked so I can run as a parent. Between you and Alex, my older sister, who you guys have kids, and you're killing it.
You're kind.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Tell me what you were saying. How you actually throw away their toys, so that there's not a lot.
Yes, I feel bad.
There's like
I was watching this podcast, The Minimal Mom. And she was kind of like showing how you can clean up your kids' bedrooms, basically, or toys. Because that's the one thing you get given so many things. And it's overtaking the whole room and your whole house. And you're like, and because we live in a condo, we're like, we only have so much space. Yeah. We don't have a yard. We can't put this outside in the garage or anything like that. So I kind of learned some of her tips. And then what I would typically do is put on a movie for them. And the first time we ever did it, we got like 6 to 8 bags. Like we either gave it away.
Did they notice? Were they like, where's my...
No, so but this is the crazy thing. And this is what the Minimal Mom was telling me on her YouTube channel, was that if you have less toys, they are more likely to play with the toys they have better.
Right.
And I saw it night and day.
No
Kid
way.
you not. This is my own testimonial. Yes.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Like, it's almost like when you just have too much stuff, you're like, I can't even get it, like, deal with it. But when you have, everything has a home and everything has a space, and it's intentional toys that they actually like or that they like to play with. It's not just like McDonald's Happy Meal toys or whatever. I mean, sometimes they like those too, but you kind of have a home for all of it. I saw my boys playing a lot longer with the little that they had. And so we try to do like a refresh every few months, especially like after Christmas, birthdays, you know, those kinds of holidays. And yeah, give them away or...
Wow.
And then we have a lot of cousins that have kids now, so I can just pass it on.
Yeah, can you come do that at my house? I know I'm a grown woman, but
it clears the mind. Yeah.
I feel like maybe I wouldn't even notice either if you just came and threw away 60% of my things.
That's the crazy thing. I feel like someone could probably do that with some of my clothes because that's what I hoard probably the most.
Me too.
And I'm working on it, but
me too.
Yeah, they say like, I mean, I probably wear the same 30 things, and there was like a thing called Project 33, I think, where you just have 33 items.
Absolutely not.
Per season. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that sound crazy?
But then we say that, but we could do that. We already do that.
Well, I lived out of a suitcase for years, and so I did do that.
Oh.
And I'm like, that was simple living.
And it's almost like less stress.
It is, because this is the other thing that the Minimal Mom says. The more you have, the more inventory you have to manage. So everything that you bring into your home, like even
More
every
stress.
pillow,
Yeah.
that is something that you have to manage or take care of. And it was like, psh. And if you have less inventory and less to manage, it frees you up to do other things.
I need to minimalist mother myself. Immediately watching that podcast.
Like, I feel like, and for her, I don't think it was like all of a sudden. It was like a slow fade. And I think like that's what Tokyo's like, I want to like get to that. Like we've definitely like cut down some things, but there's still a lot more work to do.
Well, I'm amazed how your house is always so put together.
Oh, you're kind.
Because you don't have a lot of space for 4 of you.
No.
And the boys, and they still, it feels like every piece of your house is being used.
Oh.
And sometimes I'm like, I wish I had a smaller space, because I live in the house I grew up in, and I co-own it because that was mom's house and she passed. But I have generations of things. My grandma grew up there. My mom grew up there with her brother. I grew up
legacy.
there.
Yeah.
And it's such a treat, but it's also generations of things, you know? So I'm hoarding stuff, but also I don't want to throw away their stuff.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
sentimental reasons too.
Right. I'm like, man, I wish I had less to manage.
No, and because it is stress. And I think, especially in Hawaii, the houses are not like 5,000. Well, some are 5,000 square foot houses, but majority of the people are living in, you know, that typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that is like 1,000 or 1,500 square feet. And so we have to have less. But, you know, we all shop at Costco. So we're going to have the Costco size couch. And then we're going to have the Costco size food. And so you're trying to think like, how do I fit this all in? But I've noticed the less that I can have and having more intentional space, the way I do it in my mind is I just pretend like, oh, I'm living in New York City. So that's like, I take it as that. Yeah.
And you have a beautiful view.
I'm grateful.
Yeah. It's like over the ocean.
It's nice. We're grateful.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the boys have a lot of allergies because you became like a chef-faroni. You cook everything for them.
Yeah. So my boys have all the things. My my oldest had really bad eczema where he was like weeping his skin. We didn't know why at like 4 months, and it was so sad. And when he was about 10 months, we tried eggs on him, and he just basically, he ate eggs, threw up, broke out into hives. Thankfully it wasn't anaphylactic, but we did like a allergy test when he was 1. Found out what all those things were. You basically removed all those things and he cleared right up. And so, but because of that, our boys do have food allergies, which is such a bummer. We were just talking about this today because we realize food is such a big part of what we love and what you grow up with.
And culture.
And yeah, Kyoki and I were just saying, actually, we don't talk about it often, but how we sometimes feel we miss out on getting to share those things with our boys. But on the positive note, thanks to Whole Foods, thanks to like living in 2024, there is so many more options than there was even, 5-10 years ago. So we'll find the things that make it work. The boys have a better diet than us, but they can basically be like, clean, Whole 30,
Whole 30,
basically, keto-ish. They can do all the meats and all the veggies and all the most of the fruits. But yeah.
When I realized I can't eat gluten anymore, I was like, Spiff, what is gluten? I feel like even the boys were like, you can't eat that.
Yeah, no.
But they're so smart. They are like, they know that I can't have that.
I'm thankful. They're good. Yeah, like Thurston will be like, does that have cow's milk in it?
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Genius.
Yeah, but we find stuff, and I think like they can still have desserts, and there's like their vanilla macadamia nut, ice cream that is not dairy free for Thurston. Bubba loves the acai, like the sorbet from Costco, and so they have treats, which is great.
Legend. You're
But
a super mom.
But it is a lot of planning and just making every meal at home. So yeah.
I try. I'm trying to be a chef. I'm more of an assembler of food.
Yes.
Not like a cooker with like heat, which again, praying about it, working on it.
I was assembler. I didn't know how to cook. I still don't know how to cook. I feel like I'm still assembling theirs as well. But I know I want to get better at it's funny because there's like all this stuff about, seed oils and staying away from that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to learn it. Or now as I'm in the perimenopause phase, they say you want to eat a lot more protein. I mean, up your protein, get your weight training in. And so I'm like, I really need to do that. But it's a lot.
Count your macros.
Yes. I mean, they're not even saying macros anymore. They're just saying get protein 100 grams or more, depending on what you're trying to do. If you can do that every day, as well as, walking every day or moving your body and doing heavy weights, that's kind of the thing. And I've asked that with a few different people that
you're going to get so
health
jacked.
And fitness. Yes. So we'll see.
Wow.
I need to apply it. I haven't applied it. It's all head knowledge right now.
Head knowledge. Yeah, it's all the idea of learning it.
Yes.
I know what I need to learn. I know what
I know what I need to do. I just need to stop like eating certain things.
Right.
But I think it's important too. I have a lot of friends that are in like the health and food and wellness field. Like how you were saying earlier with your insecurities with even running from Miss Hawaii. I think it's sad that those things exist in your mind, right? And I have the same ones for myself. But how can we, especially after having kids, like how can I be thankful for, wow, my body carried, and actually we have a baby that's in heaven, 3 babies in my womb, and then I was able to feed them as well. Like that's a miracle in itself. Like, yes, I want to still take care of myself so I can run with my kids, but I think being kind to ourselves that way for females at least, like I know I need to do a better job at that. And how can we just eat to feel great and to energize and find workouts that are not feeling like punishment, but man, I really actually love walking around Diamond Head or something, you know, or I love surfing, and like we do things for the love of it because then it's adding value to our life, not just in moving our body, but getting to do the thing that you love.
A big tagline of like Miss America was fitness isn't a look, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that was such a game-changing piece of knowledge for me, because it's one thing to say it, but another thing to actualize it in your life. Like you're saying, what do you enjoy moving your body, and just do that and it's okay. But then there's like people make you feel like you have to be fitness on crack. You know, you have to be the most ripped in Hawaii, where like at the beach, everybody sees your body. It's so easy to fall into this insecurity.
Absolutely.
But yeah, fitness is a lifestyle, not a look. That was a game-changing piece of information for me.
That's good.
But wow. Okay.
And that's another thing. One last thing I said. A friend had just posted about this. Like, if you can't see yourself doing it long term, then like, don't do it just to like drop weight quick.
Yeah,
like,
it never comes back.
No, and it comes back worse sometimes. I think.
When I was running for pageants, I lost and gained 20 pounds 3 different times. This was like in about 18 months.
Oh, wow.
And there were 3 pageants that I did. It was Miss Chinatown, Miss Hawaii, and then Miss America. And it was like 6 months apart. Yeah. And I had a trainer, and I was meal prepping everything, and I wasn't eating anything. Yeah. Other than that, even when I would go to Hot Pot, which is my favorite food, or favorite restaurant, favorite food group, I would bring my scale and actually weigh all of the meat, because I was so paranoid, and I was like such in that box of fitness. Yeah. Right. But then I wouldn't have a goal to do it anymore, or a reason. And then I would just gain all of the weight back. And I was like, okay, so I got really in shape, and I liked that version of me, and it felt good, but then it's not sustainable. And so right now, post Miss Hawaii, I've been trying to figure out what is really sustainable for me, and what do I like doing? Yeah. So I've just actually gone back to the gym. I've been paying for Planet Fitness for like 8 months and not going at all. And then I finally went back. And so I'm trying. I'm being a weightlifter. That is something that I want to integrate more, because like I have some of those like bands and stuff like that. But I just watched a podcast today, actually, how she, I guess, had lost 60 pounds, but it was over a period of like 3 years. And I think that is kind of goes back to even like waiting for the right person, right? Like, it's not a quick fix. And like, who are you becoming? And I think in the same way how weight loss is as well. And I'm talking to myself. What can I stick to? How can I change my mindset from not trying to do it quick, but just do it consistently? And I think that is going to be like the night and day of success right there. Yeah. The realistic. Long term. Yeah. I work in a med spa. And it's so interesting, because you get a lot of liposuction patients, and I'm all for whatever you want to do. But you see some patients, they do it and they get snatched, and then they come back 6 months later for the follow-up, and it's right back, you know, and it's so interesting to see it reflected, like this culture of quick fix. Yes. And it's applied to everything in life. Like finances, like if you are in debt and you're able to like, okay, I'm going to get a consolidated loan to fix it all. And then you're still in debt like 6 months later, it's because you haven't actually addressed the real problem. Yeah. So it's like getting to the root of the things, like what is the real problem that you're trying to fix? And then how do we actually make real changes to whatever it is you're trying to do? Yeah. Because we don't really talk about that, especially money. People don't talk about money and budgeting. I'd never really learned anything about budgeting. And then when Mom died, I had all this insurance money, and I had never had a real job before. I was just graduated from college, and I was my therapist likes to tell me my drug of choice was shopping. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's the same. And so it just became this like crazy thing, and only now am I learning how to really budget. And I'm like, oh my gosh, which is like a privileged thing to say. I'm not trying to make it seem high mocks or anything. No. But I realized, wow, nobody ever talked to me. And it's easy to look at my life and go, oh, I mentioned this. Like, why didn't you listen, or why didn't you know about this budgeting? But I mean, people don't talk about it in a vulnerable way. This is the things that I think that we should have in school. Yeah. Like how to do your taxes, how to keep a checking book or an online checking book. Yeah. Like just basics. I paid somebody for an Excel sheet that has color coordinated pie charts, and now it's like I'm killing it. I feel like, yes, I'm the ultimate budgeter, but we don't talk about it in school. Yeah, it's not taught, and I think it's a disservice to those. Like I would much rather pick that over trigonometry personally. I honestly couldn't tell you one thing about trig. Geometry, no. Circle, square, done. That's what it is, right? Kindergarten matching. That's what I know.
And now we're taking it back to homeschool. These are the things I want to teach my kids.
Incredible. Incredible. Are you nervous of them like being homeschoolers?
I used to tease friends that were homeschooled, so perhaps. But I feel like,
But they're really social.
yes, they are. And they have a lot of like other things that we do that are not just with us. Like we'll do monthly excursions with friends, or a lot of play dates. They have things every week that we do with other people too. And so I think that they're sociable, and
They're super sociable.
yeah.
Bubba, Kyoks was driving them away downstairs, and Bubba is yelling out the window, "Have fun! Okay, can I come? Okay, bye."
Oh, totally. They have FOMO.
And then
Like,
Thurston
they're
is
totally
just
my
like,
kids.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Which that is like the best thing too about kids. Like you get to see parts of you in them, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. And oh my word, is that really me?
You're like, oh no.
Like,
Yes,
Lord,
you're just
help
like
me.
me. And also, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a mirror, and I don't like this part.
Yeah. Do you think that you were born to be a boy mom?
I thought, because I have the girls event, like
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have girls, and we didn't know what we were having until we actually gave birth. And so
Oh, that's right.
I was surprised, and I was surprised to have two boys, but
Oh my gosh.
I love it, and I'm so thankful to be a boy mom. I was close with my dad, and he never got to meet my kids. He passed away 10 years ago, unexpectedly. But I feel like it's our relationship in reverse. So it's kind of like the relationship I had with my dad. I feel like I get to have it with my boys, and that is a sweet gift that I didn't know I would want or even need in this season. And obviously we'll get to see him again in heaven one day. But yeah, it's been really fun, and you actually see him in them a lot too. They'll do some things.
There are times that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so Uncle Charlie.
It's crazy. And
Thurston, he's what, 6?
he's 7.
7?
Yeah.
And he'll make those little sly comments. And I'm like, you're 7 years old.
No, totally.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, and their
They're so
humor
smart.
reminds me of my dad. I'm like, you guys are funny. Like, this is like awesome.
Imagine when they're adults.
Oh, I know. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I can't. I'm like, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
let me lay down. I'm
Yeah.
like, therapy.
Here, lay on the couch. Yeah. It becomes therapy.
I know, but they say it goes like that. So I'm just trying to
Oh,
enjoy
man.
and bask. I think that's another reason why, because we're older parents, me and Kyoks, we're in our 40s, like to be able to do things a little bit more intentionally at this stage of life is a blessing and a gift. So
Yeah. Are there things that you live by like day by day? Like day to day, these are the 3 things. There's such a theme of like minimalism, and I feel like you've consolidated. You went from big church, small church,
Yeah.
like big house, small house. And I think that you just steward what you have really well. And you're such a good mentor to me. I have you on speed dial all the time. I'm like, Tiffany, this boy, Tiffany, this, Smith, I need help. What do you think? God says my husband. And you're like, no, he didn't. I'm like,
guilty.
yeah. She's like, stop kissing them. I'm like, but why? Pray for me.
I love you, Star.
I love you too. No, but you have just so much wisdom, and you do it so gracefully. And so I'm kind of like in awe of how you've just grown and bloomed. But do you have things that are like day by day, like this is what I do, and I don't skip a day without doing these things?
I think probably my biggest one, if I can do daily devotions, like just get in my Bible every day. Like even if it's just like, even if I get a call or a text, like before, I just read the verse of the day initially. So I have the word in
I know.
me.
Does that count? Because some days that's
Yeah,
not-
I mean, sometimes it's listening. I actually started even playing just like a chapter of the Bible on the audio part of the Holy Bible app. And even just hearing it, there's something about it. And I think if I can start my day that way, that is huge. I think it also starts with the day before. So like getting to bed earlier, but also writing a list and like having your day kind of planned out. I think that helps you to be productive, intentional, even if it's to lounge around or whatever and you need a rest day. I think having those things kind of set the night before, like even Kyoki and I will often go through our schedule and look at the calendar. And I think staying organized that way helps a lot. And then I think in the house, I've really tried to make sure everything has a home. And I think that helps a ton with just feeling more at peace, even because your house doesn't feel chaotic. And that's for me really helpful. And I still have so much to grow and learn in. I mean, I am the ultimate yes girl. I want to do it, say yes to everything.
No, me too.
And I'm learning to say no. I think even in this season, something I'm learning is how can I really live with less, whether it's living better on a budget, living with less stuff, living with even a less filled schedule. Because I think sometimes me and Kyoki always say we kind of miss the COVID days because I didn't have to say yes to anything. It was just like done for me. But it doesn't fix the problem, right? We're still like, why do I always want to say yes to everything? I mean, part of it's my personality. Part of it is, I don't know, other things that I need to deal with. But how can I live with less? And I think that having a little more simple life feels fulfilling, which is very different from what I had before. So that's kind of the season I'm in of how can I take out a little bit more so that I can hopefully really thrive in the things that exist.
That's so good. I was just sharing last week that my life as Miss Hawaii was so big, bold, exciting, loud. And now that things have kind of quieted down, I've gotten to spend more time with myself, but also become more simple. And it's the little things that I love. Yeah. And I feel like I learned a lot as Miss Hawaii, and I learned how to do the talking and the walking and all of those things. But now I feel like God's just transforming my heart and quieting my spirit so that I can learn how to steward things well. Because I'm very messy, one, but also there's a lot going on all the time in my mind and in my space. And so I'm just learning how to compartmentalize even and like just be present in the spaces, because sometimes I could be talking to someone, but I've got 3 other things going on in my mind that I know I have to get to. Yeah. So learning how to be present.
Yeah. And I think that even goes with friends. Like we probably have a lot of friends, right? But like, who is the small, tight circle? So like, even for our local church, like we're really involved and we have a family group. Like that's the people that we're doing life with. And it doesn't have to be everyone. It doesn't even have to be on display, but that's the stuff that I think is really what I think enriches our life the most right now in this season. And I'm so thankful for his grace and his sufficiency per season. And just trying to enjoy being a mama and do the mundane, really, actually.
You're literally an icon. You're iconic. Your spirit is so gentle, and I'm like,
no, I have those times, and I think it's an ebb and flow, like because especially during bloom season, it's going to be a little more chaotic, or when we have Zale worship stuff, or there's going to be things that are just busy. But I hope to always, like, if I'm really busy, that the next month can kind of come down. And I think that is the beauty of getting to own and run businesses, or dictate your schedule with even homeschool. And so I'm thankful for that. Like, not having to do morning pickup and afternoon drop-offs and pickups is
a life hack. You figured out a
way
around it.
That has been a blessing. I don't have to deal with traffic, like, and I can just drive around the traffic. And we don't do things on the weekends if we don't have to, other than church or birthday parties.
Legend.
Like beach time or like all the public things, that's weekday.
I love that. And my mom was such a big believer in like adult time. Like, she wasn't just, because she was a single parent. Yeah. So she wasn't just going to do all the kids stuff. You see parents, like, they want to do everything for their kids and gymnastics and this and that, but then it becomes their whole schedule. And mom was like, no, this is adult time. You watch her show, and then sometimes I'd watch like Cheetah Girls. She's like, I'm not my mom hated animation. She's like, I'm not going to see any animation. Like, I'm sorry. You can go do that. Liz. You can watch it on your iPad over there. We didn't even have iPads when I was a kid. But she's like, no, we're watching Dateline. No. No, not Dateline. Oh my God.
I feel like she'd be like a documentary on Prada or something like that.
Oh yeah. Coco Chanel. She's like, yeah, this. But we wouldn't have like kid time like that, but I feel, and not in a totally bad way, but I think you found such a perfect balance of like, it's your family time. It's not just like adult time, kid time, but it just seems like this perfect mesh. Oh, like you are killing it.
Thank you, Star. We try.
Oh my gosh.
Learning every day. But thank you.
So cool. Again, you're a singer. I wanted to ask you, because I don't think I've ever asked this of you before. Yeah. Do people ever try to like sing to you, like prove that they have a good voice? Because obviously they know that you're a singer. You're an award-winning singer, by the way, which...
We just got our first hoku for our band, Zale Worship, Christmas album of the year, which is amazing because Imua has like, so in the band is myself, Tifa Garza, Imua Garza, Kamuseng. We've all known each other decades, and we all have personal
Icons,
stories with
legends.
each other. And it's just fun because it's like a worship band that does music in Olelo, Hawaii, but we have been friends for so long that it doesn't even feel like work. So this has been really a fun treat for us to get to do this. We've done 4 albums, and we've been nominated, I want to say like maybe 15 times or so, like collectively in the last 3 years. And this is our first win this last year, which was an honor. And it was for a Christmas album, which we wrote majority of it, which is really cool. And I think not so many people sing, but people will say, actually, I went to Lauren Daigle concert, and
Did someone start singing?
a mom was like saying hi, and then her friends were like, oh, she can sing, and like they played me her song, which was
Right
amazing. And I was like, this is awesome. So we listened to a verse chorus, and I just like encouraged her with some words, and it was so cool. And so sometimes like those things will happen, but sometimes you'll get, I'm trying to remember, I know for sure
No one's
I might
walking
have-
past you going, Holy Spirit. Trying to like drop some Hillsong on you, like, la.
Sometimes it depends. Like I feel like single days you might have like some like
Oh, the
people
men.
working it other ways, you know.
Oh.
But yeah, thankfully we don't have that too much anymore. But now it's like
Not too much.
Yeah. It's come down a lot. But for young girls, I think that's where I probably get the most asks about just singing or like, oh, can you listen to my song? And I'm like, yeah. And so that I can't think of any good stories right now though. I'm like trying to think. It's funny because all I can think of right now, my sister Tatum
Yeah.
is. Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Yes.
But like, baby, I'm
Yeah,
sorry for
but
how I
I
acted. But if you give me another chance, I'll be the boy of your dreams, girl. Then he says, if you're sleeping and you're dreaming of a boo, you wanna be me, boo, will you date me? Baby. Like, I feel like nobody has done that to me yet.
You took me to church there. Just, I've never felt the Holy Spirit so strong in that moment. Lord.
Oh my God.
Sorry, okay, yeah. No one's ever done that to you. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that.
Okay, copy that. Outside in the parking lot. That's
Would you like to
amazing
sing me a first song right now?
Absolutely. Tiffany, my name is Star. Thanks for being on my podcast. I love you.
Amazing.
you like the ad-lib at the-
I
thank
love
you.
the ad. It had so much personality.
Thank you. Okay,
And-
I was thinking about that for a long time, and I was thinking, how do I add it in? You know, like how do I really get my personality to shine through? But I just feel like it was a perfect combination.
We need to call Imua. We're like, get her in the studio.
Yes. No. That's the next dream is record a song. But like as a joke, if the Kardashians can
Oh my
record a
word.
Christmas album, I can record a song, Imua Garza. Thank you. La. La.
That's my favorite.
It's just like, are you sick? Like, are you okay? Are you in pain? Yes. My soul hurts that I can't sing. I often say, like, God knew what he was doing by not letting me sing, because everybody in our family can carry a tune. Like, it's musical in some ways.
Except for mom. She's my mom is always like, oh, if I could sing, I'd be dangerous.
And she's way better at singing than me. So let me just put the context there.
Just think of it this way. If you could sing, you'd be dangerous. Way too dangerous.
No, it wouldn't be fair to all of the other people. It'd be like, oh my gosh. I always say that if I could sing, I'd be on Broadway by now. Like, I'm just like, la.
Hear that, John? Josh?
Yeah, Josh. Josh, the Broadway star.
Yes.
Incredible. What was I talking about? Oh, I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to worship in Olelo? Like, that is such a graduation, I feel like, in such a different path. And I was so excited to hear about that, but I feel like it's also grounded down in foundation of this season for you guys and opened up a new level to Bloom, to you, to the group. And there's so much fruit there.
We feel so grateful to get to do it. We kind of stumbled on it. We were going to do an album because we were going to do this event in the mainland, and it was for a lot of people. So we thought maybe we'll do an album together after singing with each other for like a decade or so. And as we were kind of putting songs together that we think we would want to do, Kamu's sister, Lemomi, actually is fluent in Olelo. She's a Kumu as well as loves the Lord. And so we thought, oh my gosh, what if Mom's like translated this, like even just a chorus? And I remember the first chorus that we got back and we sang it together. It was just like chicken skin. It was like, whoa, there's something different. And I think there's something about singing the language of the land for the one who made you that way. Like the Lord is the one that made us Hawaiian, that placed us here in Hawaii, and to get to sing Makolelo Hawaii, but like as a worship form, it's been incredible. We're so grateful to get to do it, and we hope to just create resources for the church, the capital C church, to be able to use, and hopefully to strengthen people to want to sing in Olelo Hawaii, but also to worship the one who actually created it all.
Amen. It's even unlocked something in my heart as a Hawaiian who doesn't olelo, and being able to worship and, you know, learning the songs that you guys have written. It's been so special and a really spiritual experience for me.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Lord. That's awesome.
But I also wondered, you know, worship is such an intimate moment, and you've been a worship leader for a really long time.
Yeah.
And kind of from the beginning of your walk with the Lord.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wondering, it's so intimate, yet you do it in front of everybody. Like everybody sees that moment for you.
Yeah.
Like, was there ever a time that you felt kind of numb to that worship experience in a musical way? Or like, did it just change what worship meant to you? Or like where that happened?
That's a good question. I remember there was a time I was at New Hope Oahu for years, and maybe it was about 7 years in or something like that. And I didn't feel the same, like you would feel like the presence of the Lord, or there was just something. And I remember for like a year, it felt different. And I remember the Lord was really teaching me to not go off of feelings, but to just know truth. So even if I don't feel a certain way, will I still worship the one who is worthy? And that was really helpful to have a season like that. And I think as far as like it being an intimate thing, I think you would hope that what we're doing on stage is something that is carried out from your private life too, right? That you're worshiping the Lord at home, or you're spending time in the Word, and you're not perfect. We're all human, but that we're also not doing it for people. So I think for me, that is I think why I love worship so much, is because it takes off all the pressure to me. Versus when I'm singing like a special or a song that is a performance, that is where I feel like people are judging how good is it the inflections there, is it on pitch, all that stuff. But when I do worship, I just feel like I get to just sing for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and I give him whatever I have, and I give him the best that I can at that moment, whether it's, you know, sharp or flat or a little junk. It's besides the point. That's not why. It's just it's unto him. And so that to me is why I think one of my favorite things is there's no pressure. To me, it's just it's giving glory to the one who's worthy and deserving.
It's just authentic time with
I hope. Yeah. I mean, I think, of course, like the more you do it, you can get, I think, maybe even desensitized from certain things. But my hope is my heart never does that. And I think if it does, then yeah, I need to take a break or something like that. But I found, for me, I would tell a lot of worship leaders this too, is if you're on stage, if you're doing something that's in a public setting, find something else that you can do too simultaneously that nobody ever sees. So maybe it's scrubbing toilets, and don't tell anybody, just do it. For me, even when I was singing back for Natalie, I did her merchandise at the same time. All the guys in the band played an instrument, so it worked out perfect, because while they're setting up their instruments before sound check, I would go set up the merch table and set that up, and then I would train volunteers. I'd go sing, I'd come back and help them clean up. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You are the queen of merch.
I learned a lot in that season. But that season, what I found that the Lord did a lot was scrub my heart. If there was any pride that thought, wow, look at me because I'm singing for Natalie or whatever, or because, oh, I get to sing worship for all these kids at Revolve, it was like the Lord was just taking out the callous of my heart and just scrubbing it and say, really? I'm the one that put you here, and I'm the one who gave you that gift. And any kind of things, and not to be as if he's always condescending, but just reminding me to be humble, and that he can take it all away like that too. And I think it really was helpful. So I often will tell up and coming worship leaders, if you are in a public or very visible role, even if you're not, I think it's really good to be able to do something simultaneously that nobody sees, that you can serve and kind of come through the servant's entrance that way. And I think that has been a really helpful tool to be able to serve the Lord that way.
That's such great wisdom. It's something you don't hear often. You know, how big leaders in the spotlight will cultivate their heart. especially in the church way too. I think looking at church leaders, sometimes I just assume that they're just super holy, you know, especially like as I grow in my own faith. I'm like, how do I get to that level? But
we're all human, and none is without, like, we're all sinners still. And I think you even see there's been a lot of big public names that are pastors that are having very public moral failure and falls. And I think that just reminds me that nobody has ever arrived. We don't arrive until we go to heaven and that we're with Christ. And I think it reminds you that no matter what your age is, like, how can you continue to surrender, stay humble, remember who is in control and who this is for. It's not about us. It's for the Lord. And my hope and prayer is that with my life, I use my time to glorify him above everything else. And even if someone is giving me a lot of praise, not being fake about it, like, oh, no, you know, like still saying thank you, but remembering that I'm like, he put me here, he gave me this opportunity. And so just thanking him in all things and hopefully serving him. And I think mommyhood has helped to keep scrubbing my heart because it gets real quick. You're like, you do a show and you're like, you win the whole school, and then you're like, okay, you're like cleaning up snot or whatever, you know, like the hour after.
Were they stoked about that? Were they like, wow, mom, you won an award? Or did they just like...
They slept at my mom's house at night. And so the next morning we actually like picked them up and they were like, oh, can I touch it? And they're like looking at it. So I don't know if they get it fully, but I know they get it that we won something. Yeah, which is cool.
Have they won anything?
The boys?
Yeah. Like, do they participate in activities where they win stuff? Because people are kind of torn between participation awards.
Yeah, I'm not for participation awards. I mean, I like competitor. Like I love like football, all that kind of stuff. I love like competition.
Touchdown.
Yes, touchdown.
Goal.
Soccer. Okay. Golf. Yeah. But they have like one things like in Bible study stuff, or they did kicky kicks for a little bit, which is a soccer thing, and
I remember that.
Yeah, and so they've had a little bit of opportunities, but not a ton of like competitive sports just at this point. So
what you're saying is they don't know what it feels like to win.
Well, I know that they like to win because they will. So actually,
they haven't tasted
Thurston.
It yet.
What they do, they know that I'm a huge Titans fan, and they love to cheer against me.
Really?
Yes. So if I'm cheering for a team, they will find out the name of the other team and cheer for that team.
Wow. It begins.
It begins.
Oh my gosh. You really are the biggest like sports fan I know.
I love sports. I wanted to like literally work for the NFL Network for a season.
No way.
My mom was like, I think you really have a shot at that. I'm like, no. I'm starting way too late. And I got 2 little kids, 2 and 3.
Oh my gosh. Those social media accounts, like they all are run by like cute women, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they're always in the locker room. I was like, that sounds like my perfect job. That sounds like my dream job.
Those women know their stuff though. Like they're like football
It.
junkies.
Right.
It's impressive.
I'd be like, what is that? What's that brown thing? And it gets tossed. Like, football. Copy that.
And you have to keep up with like they change like the rules every year just a little bit slightly. There's new rules that get updated. So yeah, you got to stay on top of it.
I learned everything I know about sports from Ted Lasso.
Oh, I love
That's
Ted
all
Lasso.
I have. So, soccer.
There's that. And I heard they're coming back. They're having another.
No way.
That's what I hear. Word on the street.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What street are you on? I got to get on that one.
I'm on the mom street that gets access to things. I don't know why.
Yeah. Watching TV. Your kids are screen kids. Like you allow them to have screen time.
Yes, they can watch TV. We try to limit iPad because there is a difference I noticed between iPad versus TV. Personally.
Do share.
I've talked with a few other parents. There's, word on the street as well.
Okay, the street, yes. Spiffy Lane.
That basically, like, they see, like, I mean, some people need their iPads for various reasons, but I notice if my boys watch iPad for too long, I think that they get crazy. And so we try to limit that to the best of our ability. And also for TV, I feel like they don't get as crazy because they're not, like, picking the shows as much.
Not in charge.
Yeah, like I feel like with YouTube Kids or something, like they can just pick it so quick and they're like on to the next. But I don't know. I'm not sure if there's. I'm sure there's some psychological things to that. I don't have that study pulled up in my mind though right now.
Yeah, the statistics. You're really good with statistics.
Oh, you're kind.
You're like 25% of all people that eat carrots can see better and fart less. So if you want to fart less, eat more carrots. And I'm like, wow. I just called to say to ask you something, but yeah.
Just wanted to share.
Just wanted to share it. No, you're really good. And I have the memory of like a thumbnail. Like details are not my strong suit. And you're like 1/3 of the entire population of Earth. And I'm like, yes, you're so smart.
Oh, you're kind. It's because
No,
I'm married to Kyoki and he's really smart. I
He
feel
has a
like
lot of statistics.
some of it's like rubbing off on me. Yes, he's Wikipedia.
I'm
Really?
praying for that. I'm manifesting that for myself. Somebody smarter than me.
I didn't know. This is a fun fact. I didn't know I was saying words wrong when we first were dating, and he would write them down on his phone. And after a few months, I was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing." And then it came out that basically, like, I would say words like masculint with a T.
Instead of what?
Masculine.
Oh. Do you have a masculine in your purse?
Or
coffee breath.
Or obese. I would say, "Oh, I feel so obese" with a T. I like the T's, maybe because my name is Tiffany.
Here's what I have to say about that. Imua. Can I see the list of this? Please.
I know. I need him to bring the list out because it's
Okay, give me one
it's
more.
gold.
Do you have one more?
Whirlwind. Like I would say, like, oh, that's. I've just been on. I've said this from stage. Like I would do like this spiel like before one of the worship songs I would do for a lot in a season. It was like, oh, such a whirlwind, but it's. See, now I don't even remember what it is. It's. I would say whirlwind, but it should be whirlwind.
See, I say the same thing. I actually don't. Yeah,
It's little
you humbled me just then.
That's where he's like just in the details, and I'm like, give me big picture, give me picture books,
Yes. Oh my goodness.
give me Instagram reels, and I'm
yeah.
good.
Can you make a reel about that, and I'll know all of the words? Thank you.
We'll work on it. Oh,
his
one last.
brain is obese.
Yes, this is really funny. There was this reel. Speaking of reel, where they were giving names. I actually started my own list. Okay, baby names.
Yeah.
Let me find. That would be really cool.
Oh, I seen these.
You've seen it? Okay, I started making my own list of funny baby names. Okay, if this wasn't, if it didn't mean what it actually means, like
It'd
it
be
would
a cute
be
baby
really
name.
cute baby.
I've seen
Okay,
that. Okay,
I've got 4 for you.
Okay.
Vasectomy.
Okay, wait. I need to detach myself from the meaning of that word.
Vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
Like, hi, vasectomy.
Okay.
Vasect.
Vasect. Yeah.
Okay. Jail.
Jail. So cute.
Is that
I
so
like it.
cute?
Jail. Jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hernia.
Hernia.
Okay, and
Okay.
this
What's the
this
last
probably
one?
hits home for a lot of people. Anxiety.
Anxiety. That's cute.
It's
That's
cute, right? If it didn't mean what it meant.
Yeah. Oh. Praying about it, working on it, journaling about it. Okay, mine. Tangerine.
I like that. Tangy. I don't know any tangerines.
See?
I know a lot of apples.
Really?
Yes, that's a popular name, especially after like Gwyneth Paltrow, Apple.
That's right. When I was in the 4th grade, so until kind of I was an adult, I did not like the name Star.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was
It's
just
so
like
you.
I honestly, this is kind of a not the gentlest of language, but I thought it was like the best of like all of the stripper names mom was going between, because I had all of, and I won't list them all, but they were pretty like,
Wow.
Mom, are you kidding me? So I would rename myself, and in the 4th grade, I was like, I want to be named Apple. I got my teacher to call me it, everything.
You serious?
Yeah, and he would call me by Apple, and I would be like
forget that you named yourself Apple.
Oh, me. He's like, you told me that. Because like the teachers have to be like, whatever you say, I'm like, But yeah, I went Jasmine for a long time. I was like, I'm meant to be Jasmine.
That's so funny. I was Andrea and Shelby.
What? Doesn't even match you at all. What?
I can see Jasmine for you though.
Really?
Yes. Especially right now, this vibe is very
whole
Jasmine.
New world.
Exactly.
A dazzling place I never knew. Okay, don't sing while I sing because it makes me sound bad. Actually, sing and I'll mouth it. Okay, ready? Choose a song I know.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. I don't remember all the words. Sorry.
No, that was enough. Can we clip that and put it on repeat? Thank you. That's my new ringtone.
That's my new ringtone.
That's going to be just the trailer of this podcast. I can sing. Told you. Wow.
Amaze.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to do rapid fire round questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit me.
Favorite ice cream?
Oh, cookies and cream.
Favorite shoes you own?
Probably the ones I just hooked off. It's oh my gosh, I'm having a mom brain moment. My Converses.
Okay. Yeah. Are they high tops or
Yeah,
low
high tops, white.
Wow. White.
Little bit of a heel. Not heel, but like a
Like
platform.
a platform. I
Yeah.
think I have those.
Yeah, those are so comfy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Favorite fruit.
Strawberry.
Favorite earrings.
Ooh, hoops, which I meant to put on right now, but I forgot.
Oh, favorite hat.
A trucker hat.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
as a worship leader, it should be the wide brim hat. You'd think. You'd assume.
I know. I actually brought that one too as an option for
Mhm.
today, but this has been like my jam lately. Just
Yeah.
easy.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Even Jordan was like, is she going to come in a trucker hat? Because that's what I feel like her vibe is. And then sure enough, I was like, yeah.
And I was like, oh, my hair's not that like clean up top. I'm like, oh, I'll just put a trucker hat on.
Do you know that you taught me how to have dirty hair?
What?
Yeah. I was like, Tiffany doesn't wash her hair ever. And ever.
This is like 5 weeks old, you know?
But I was like, I discovered a whole new world. I went,
Oh,
it's always amazing. Because I was like, how does she always have such amazing hair? And even when Bloom was like 3 days, I'd be
Yeah.
like, how is it so nice every time? You don't wash it.
I didn't wash it. You just dry shampoo that puppy up top. And if you wear, like, I wear like lapels for Bloom and stuff like that, or a hat, it helps,
Again.
covers it all.
Iconic. Okay, favorite dry shampoo.
I actually use the Target one. It's like Kristen S. It's just black,
Oh.
and I do the one that has brunette in it. So then if I don't get my roots done, even though Stella just did it this past week,
Thank
thank
you,
you, Stella. Are we twins?
Oh my gosh, are you my twin? That's crazy.
Hi. But yeah, that like covers like perfectly. So even in COVID, I'm like, that was like my jam.
Wow, Kristen S. That's my favorite.
With
It's like
brunette.
shampoo.
Yeah, same. I love it. And the branding, it's so pretty.
It's so good.
It's so
And
good.
you
So
know-
simple. It's so minimalist.
No, right? And you know what I want it to be just as good because it's just as pretty? Monday.
Oh,
You seen that
totally.
script?
Yes.
Not as good.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
no, I
I've
don't know what it
wanted
is.
to like them, and it's just not the same.
Okay, you know what I've recently learned that I'm doing next month? Actually, I told you about this. I saw it on TikTok. Botox to the scalp
Oh my gosh.
because your hair won't get oily.
Needles is my other thing that I can't handle. So I don't know
That's
how.
right.
I cannot. Except for I said needles and like pregnancy or like having a baby was like a miracle, and it was.
You killed that. You crushed it. You crushed that.
You
Smashed
crushed that.
that. Smashed
Smashed
that.
it.
Knocked it out of the pot.
Out of the park.
So good. Wait, I want to circle back to buttons.
Okay.
I didn't know you were afraid of buttons, but I've never seen you wear a button.
You will not see me wear a button unless it is
on
like
your
my
pants?
jeans, the
Okay.
top that you can't see. And if it's a jean jacket, it's okay. But
So it's seeing the button.
yeah, and it's like the regular buttons, like a button shirt. So even when I was in the marching band in high school, and I remember like I almost considered not being in the marching band because I knew their uniform had real buttons. And I was like, I can't wear that. I don't know where this
What?
came from.
Yeah, what is it?
When I was little, like my mom would be like, "Here, how about this?" I'm like, "It has buttons." No. True story. And
Wow.
still to this day, I am 44, and my name is Tiffany, and I will not wear buttons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good between. Say it to the camera.
My
But
name is
between
Tiffany.
you and me.
I'm 44. My name is Tiffany Thurston Lifty Cow, and I will not wear buttons.
Say it one more time, but between you and me.
Between you and me, oh yeah, to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Between you and me, my name is Tiffany. I'm 44, and I will not wear buttons.
Crazy.
Or let me just do them without my age.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Between you and me, I will not wear buttons.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, not crazy like
I mean,
psychotic, but
Like you do have to give up certain fashion choices that are trendy.
Yeah. Okay, but if you saw a bucket of buttons, like a bowl
Ugh,
of them, like what if that glass was full of buttons?
No,
you would EBGB.
I would get it off.
I would get it off. Wow. And you know what's so funny is you're so graceful with a lot of things, but then there are a couple you're like, you will panic.
Yes,
But I
do.
haven't seen I think, was I there when you got your ears pierced?
Oh, yes, you were.
I was, yeah,
The
I
best
was-
story ever. I was
yeah.
26.
Wait,
Winter
I'm
Mall.
26 now.
Whoa, crazy. 26 in Winter Mall.
Claire's?
We went to Claire's, and I was like, I think I'm going to get my ears pierced today. Mom and dad were there. And then they go in. First one goes. I immediately started hearing buzzing sound, starts blacking out. And I'm like, oh gosh, like let me do the other side before I go down. And so they do the second side. I'm like trying to like stay. And then mom is like, if you know my mom, she's very, mom is very dramatic. I don't know I don't know where I get it from.
No, yeah, we're very demure.
Very. And she's like, oh my gosh, maybe you can get her like a lollipop or something like that. Like, cause maybe she needs sugar.
Claire's like,
And, yes. And they're like, so they get a lollipop somehow. Then she's like, oh, put your head between your legs because maybe that's going to help you to like get them out. So I'm like this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's not working. And so she's like, okay, walk over to dad. And I'm walking and then I just collapse.
oh my gosh.
In the middle of Claire's, 26. But my ears were pierced.
You
and
got
I,
both sides.
Both sides.
Okay.
I wake up to mom screaming like, she's got a lollipop in her mouth. She's gonna choke. And then like Star's like, oh gosh, what happened? This sweet teen girl.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
you were not even teenager yet. You were like
No.
elementary school.
Yeah,
And
I don't remember this.
just shocketh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You were, I'm sure, traumatized from that in your
that I had to
years.
black it out of my memory.
Yeah, that you don't even
Tiffany
know.
passing
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And
Oh my
then
gosh.
I actually, it's funny because every time I put my ears back in, like my pierced ears, I'm like, I feel pain again. And my sister's like, then stop putting it in.
That's the best part about Tatum is
Yeah.
she's so sweet and so gentle, and then she'll be like, just don't
She's
do
gonna
that.
say it like it is. Yeah. And so I stopped and then I let them close and then we re-pierced it. So I think it just
You
hit a nerve.
re-pierced it?
Yes. Not
Wait.
myself, but I went
Yeah,
and
what happened?
I let them know like, okay, I'm letting you know I'm a fainter.
Did you go back to Claire's? The scene
I
of
did
the
not go
crime?
back to Claire's. I went to like a more professional like jewelry store just in case. And
Case.
yeah, they did it and thankfully I did not go down. So
Wow, you stayed
Hey.
up,
did.
elevating.
I grew.
You're blooming. Oh my god, so good. Okay, a couple more rapid
Okay.
fire. Buttons or needles?
Oh. Oh. I don't even I don't even know what to say to that. Oh.
Are you gonna faint? Please don't.
I might. Actually, for real though, every time I have to get like needles or whatever, I let them know, hey, I'm a fainter. Do you have a bed that I can lay down? And do you have a butterfly needle? So
What is a butterfly needle?
it's like supposedly smaller, which is funny because it probably takes longer that way, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like a mental thing. And then I'm like, and you just can't show me the needles, I'm gonna faint. And so I'll look away and then I'm like, and can you talk to me because I'm Portuguese? And so we'll talk story like the whole time while it's happening. And then like I just can't look at it.
No, I do that too at DLS when you have to get your
Yes.
blood drawn.
Yes.
I've learned so much about these people because I have to talk to them because
Yes.
they sit you in this big chair
Yes.
and then they strap you down.
Yes.
You know, they put that thing so you can't get out like it's the Disney Channel ride.
Yes.
Wait, no, Disneyland ride.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, I got to talk to I know like everything about all of their lives at the Kahala
Yeah.
location. My gosh. they're
And
so
Kyoki
sweet.
is like the opposite. He's like, I mean, he's a fireman too, but like he can just stare and I'm like, I can't.
Oh, I could
he's
never. I remember,
obsessed.
didn't he want to watch mom extract your acne?
Yes.
My mom was a facialist.
Yes.
So she would.
And like obsessed with like Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, oh, I can't watch that stuff.
Like, oh, he loves that.
Oh,
You know who else loves that? Angela Johnson.
really?
Yes.
Wow.
They're very
she's my
similar
fave.
too.
Oh my gosh.
She's actually more like introverted, super smart.
No way.
But yeah, like loves it.
Oh my gosh, honey.
Honey, why you so pretty?
I know, so pretty, like diamond, Chialita.
That is really good.
Thank you.
See, you could probably sing because you could imitate.
Can I run that back too? Can it be you saying that and then me mouthing?
Honey.
Yeah, honey, Chialita. I've been known to do a few accents.
Yeah. Can you just speak in Chinese for us, Mandarin?
可以，我会说中文吧。
Fun fact, if you didn't know, Star actually speaks fluent Mandarin
I was fluent for a time. When I lived in China, I could get
and
on.
lived in China for her junior year of high
Yeah, I
school.
was 16.
It's crazy.
When I look back on it, like as my friends start having kids and I think about my mom was kind of on one, sending her 16-year-old to
That's
China.
Isaiah's age. Tatum's oldest is 16.
I can't imagine him going
No.
off to Beijing, China by himself.
Another country, yeah.
Okay, do you want to hear the funniest story?
Yes.
So I was like, now we've all seen Emily in Paris, right? Where it's like
Not
this.
yet.
What?
I know.
Oh my God.
Don't
that's
judge
the-
me because I'm watching animated cartoons.
Yeah, that's so true. You need adult time.
I do.
Your mom locked me in her house and was like, we're watching all of season 4 tonight.
What?
Yeah. Well, I locked the door, but she's like, do you watch it? And I'm like, yeah, I just hadn't watched the new season. And she was like, let's watch all of it right now. I go, okay, fine. And I love it. She loves it. You know, she's like cracking up the whole time.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress. What was I talking about?
No.
I
Just
was-
Emily in Paris.
No shows. Oh, okay. So I felt like Emily, right? I'm
Okay.
going to China. And once it was like not sad anymore because I had like a 13-hour plane ride to get unsad and get excited.
Yeah.
I meet my host parents. They're really nice. They show me to my room. They close the door. It's like the first time you're alone in your new space. And they have the bed, right? I didn't know anything about like Chinese beds, but they're not cushiony
Soft,
like
yeah.
America, like soft. Even the firm American bed, this is like cardboard and a mat, right? So I am like such a drama queen. I go to the bed and I plop down. I'm like, like, you know, like I'm in China. Bruised tailbone. I couldn't walk the same for like the whole first week. I was like, I sat down and I was like, like the worst pain I had honestly ever felt radiated through my spine. And I was like, that's a wake up call. You're in China now, girl.
Word.
欢迎 to 中国 means welcome to China. 谢谢你.
That's a tagline.
Yeah, that should be, yeah. 欢迎 to 中国.
All I know is from you is pom pom dia.
Yeah, 胖胖的. That's so, my family thought that was the funniest term.
Yes.
It means like fat, like as an adjective, you know, or like chubby.
And we like fat jokes.
Yeah, we like fat jokes. I have the same birthday as Buddha. My dad used to call me Baby Buddha. He'd be like, "Come on, Buddha." Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Dad. No, we love him. Yeah. But it also sounded funny. Your dad loved that.
Oh, totally.
Because I said it I was learning it in school and I was like, yeah, the pang pang de.
Loved it.
Yeah, something.
Well, yeah, like we had our own fat jokes for each other, like fat boy, like because we'd eat those ice cream.
Yeah.
Fat boy. It was like endearment of love, you know.
Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Okay. And last one, favorite cousin.
Star, because you're
Whoa.
here. I have so many. I'm the oldest cousin on both sides.
Yeah.
Mom and dad's side.
So many cousins.
I have a lot of cousins. So, I mean, today I'll say Star. But no, Star, you're more like, I feel like my sister.
No, absolutely.
I feel
we
like.
grew up like all the time.
Yes.
And we have such a big age difference, but I don't always feel that way.
I know. And I just feel it's so. I just always consider you my little sister. So.
You're like, I feel the age difference. No.
I really feel it.
Yeah. Keep going, girl.
Yeah. Proud of you though. I'm so proud. Like, look what's happening. And
the wall. I know a wall. Like
there's a wall. There's a set. There's people. There's a camera.
Here.
There's actually people behind here, and it's happening. It's really happening.
Gosh, I cannot believe it. So wow.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay. Yes, there's coffee in here at 9.
There's coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't your question.
I think it's that. Oh, it's actually almost 10.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Yo, sorry. I was
like it's gonna be 1 hour.
Between you and me, we're sisters.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh. Honored.
Okay. Between you and me, what is your best piece of advice for Hawaii girls dreaming big?
Oh my gosh. I think it's so easy to dream small here because we live in a small community. Everybody knows one another. And I think when it's that small, everybody thinks that they know each other and what they're capable of. And in turn, you just absorb what other people think you're capable of.
Yeah.
And I just think it's easy to underestimate yourself, most of all, but to underestimate the people around you. And so I think get around people who are big thinkers. Like the first step is really identify who's thinking small and who's thinking big. And if you're one of the people that's thinking small, then that means maybe you have to expose yourself to people who are big thinkers. Like I grew up around powerhouse women. Like my mom, who moved to LA and she like worked on set and like, you know, she was living her dream, but then also had like a small micro life with me and always wanted to be around, and you going off and doing amazing things and doing stuff for the Lord and then creating bloom, like out of your back pocket. You're like, I just moved home and I got married and I have this dream life and now I'm going to create this amazing conference to invest in all women everywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Tuesday for Tiffany. So I just like, I'm exposed to really great women and it's influenced me so much because that was just in the background, you know, and you take it for granted when you're just growing up because you don't realize, like, I realize not everybody has a Tiffany Thurston around or like a Liz Dahl or even Auntie Kathy, your mom, like just doers. She's a contractor. She'll be first to say, I'm a woman in a man's world. She's
tagline.
Titta. Yeah, she'll
it's
go.
Brand right there.
Yeah, that's her brand. But she was, and she conquered it. And it's just really, you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And I think we underestimate that the environment is also people, but people you choose to. So like you can't change your family. You know, say like you have a family, you don't feel like they encourage you or build you up or build the world. You get to choose your second family. Yeah. And Jordan just said this yesterday. He said there's day ones and then there's day twos, like the day twos that you choose. And I thought that was really wise, actually, Jordan. That was really good.
Yeah, Jordan.
Wisest thing you ever said. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
No, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing.
That's
is
good.
You're bigger than this place, you know, and especially being a believer, like we can't fathom how big God is and what he has planned. And the Bible says that there's more than you can ever think or imagine. So like what is bigger than you could ever think or imagine? Because in one season of my life, Miss Hawaii was way more than I could ever imagine. And then once you push past that, you go, oh, there's more. It's like, you don't just go from inside to outside and you see the whole world. I feel like you take steps and the doors get bigger and bigger and bigger until you're like, wow, I can't actually fathom what big thinking is because there is no limit. The options are limitless.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good.
Should we get matching tattoos? Wait, you would never get tattoos. No. That's right. Shucks.
I'll get a sticky one though.
Oh, like water?
Yeah. Or like the kind that, like the kids one where you just like.
Yeah, the water
temporary
ones.
Yeah. One.
I bought my, Josh and Megan. Yeah. So they moved to Maui and I bought their daughter like these water tattoos. So cute. There was like glitter and it was like so cute. I thought, she's one, right? Yeah. I thought like she's going to love it. I put it on her with the water because she's looking at it, liking it. I cut it out. I put it on, bawling, instantly crying. Like,
because stuck on her?
Yeah. She's like, ah! Like I was attacking her. Backfire. And I was like, no, you're going to like it. And I'm not gentle. Okay, I'm working on it, praying about it, thinking about it, journaling about it. And so I'm pushing it on her still. She's like running away. And I'm like, just wait, because you'll see it and you'll like it. She took it off and she saw it and she was like, she thought it was a wound. I don't know. And then in public, we were at a restaurant and I thought, if I put it on me, she's going to see it, right? Yeah. So she's always looking at you. So I put it on my face. And it's like this big rainbow unicorn. And I thought that was a really good idea. And I'm holding it to hold it there for a minute. And my friend goes, you didn't think about that, did you? And I go, no. So the rest of the day and on the flight home, I had a big unicorn on my face. You were like, So the moral of that story is hire me for your kids' parties because
I'm not a regular aunt. I'm a cool aunt.
I'm a cool aunt. I'm one of the cool girls. No, I'm officially old. When you don't know the lingo in school anymore, like with the young kids.
I know.
Yeah. 10,000 plus aura points. You heard of that?
No.
This is what children are saying. The kids.
What?
The youth.
That's the new slang.
Yeah. Kyra's siblings are younger, right?
Yeah.
In high school
so they're all
college. So they're hit. Right? Yeah. Alpha. Sigma.
Oh, totally. I was going to say Sigma.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what that means? I don't.
I have seen it and I forget already because mom brain.
Amen. Let things go that don't serve you.
It's more inventory to keep, in your mind. I'm trying to live with less.
My name's Tiffany Thurston, and between you and me, I'm a minimalist mom wannabe. I gotta watch this podcast. Okay, it's been 300 years.
And we covered all the gamut. Like, we covered a ton of things.
I feel like we covered everything.
I think we've got you set for the year.
I don't need any more guests. This is the one. We're gonna cut this into 8 different podcasts.
Last thing, October 1st or like 2nd, around there.
Like in 3 days.
100 days to the end of the year. How are you going to finish and choose to end your year well?
Wow. You're so incredible. You're literally, you just say stuff off. Wow. I want to be you when I grow up. That's crazy.
I'm dying.
I can't believe we were laughing and you just went, how are you going to end your year? I guess not on TikTok. In the gym, I guess. Dang. Eating organic food from Whole Foods.
You're going to be doing this podcast. That's what you're going to do.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
And batching them and putting them all together. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the stamina.
Yes.
It's 10 p.m. coffees. Now, bow, 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 bow. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Okay, wait, but how are you going to end it? Do you have a goal for the end of the year?
I haven't thought it through, but I actually want to lift heavier weights, eat more protein.
Sickening.
Walk every day.
Wow. Iconic. I want to give up sugar for more than a week.
Whoa.
Because I've tried to do sugar fast.
Even in like the holiday season?
Well, I said a week. It can be like
okay,
next
a week.
Okay. Yeah, like not during November.
I didn't say it was crazy. I'm going to do it.
My Christmas tree's still up from last year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We used to live like that. My mom's house.
Not I used to be in impoverished mindset like that. I used to live in the slum life.
Mom, that was mom.
Wow.
And she was like, year round, then I can just be like cheerful.
I didn't do it on purpose. It was just procrastination.
That's amazing.
Manifesting.
Well, you're ready. I mean, because people start putting up their Christmas trees on October 1st. Wow. That's the thing.
So the question is, do I decorate it different or do I leave it?
I would add a little zhuzh to it, you know, bring it into 2024.
Amen. That's how I'm going to end my 100 days. That's how I'm ending 2024.
10-4, Roger.
You're and my icon. Oh my gosh. 10-4 to that. Roger Dodger over
and out.